So in this video, I want to talk about, is Bel Cranel too perfect of a hero? And this is just something that I've definitely seen throughout the anime community for a couple of years, and it's definitely understandable to a point, but I'll get into why I agree and disagree. And I will be talking about some minor spoiler stuff. It will be just for context's sake, nothing major I'll be talking spoiler about, just so that you understand some of the points. Basically, I will keep spoilers to a minimal. But I wanted to talk about, is Bel too perfect of a character? Because it is a story about that perfect hero himself. But I also think his biggest imperfection is his biggest perfection, is that he is idealistic in that he is trying to be the perfect hero. And he is definitely achieving that in many different aspects. But I also think it is his greatest weakness and his biggest flaw, because it leads to him running into bigger issues and bigger obstacles. And depending on if he really wants those obstacles, I don't think he is deliberately trying to throw himself into these obstacles, but it's more about his own self-belief in what he's trying to accomplish. The Xenos is a perfect example of that, and I've talked about it in previous videos where Hermes has tried to force Bel to become a hero that the people want, not what the people like. Basically the Batman quote, the hero that the people need, not what they want, kind of sense, that Bel will do what he believes is right and he will protect all of those that need protecting. And the Xenos are self-aware monsters that remember their past stuff, and they are trying to, in a sense, one day hoping to coexist with the people on the surface, same way as the gods and the goddesses are coexisting with the mortal planes. But Hermes wants Bel to be this perfect hero, and the monsters are that villain, because, as another saying that I like to go with, is that heroes need villains, villains don't need heroes. Now, I'm not sure if some people won't get that, but the context to that is, at the end of the day, to be a hero, you need a villain. You need to defeat something that is what makes you a hero. But a villain doesn't need a hero. The whole objective of a villain is to just do bad things. They don't need a hero in the story to achieve their goal, but a hero needs the villain to achieve their goals of being exactly that. They need to defeat evil. So it's why I say that a hero needs a villain doesn't need a hero. And so with Bel, to be a hero, he needs a villain. Hermes is trying to forcefully make the Xenos the villain so that Bel can live out that fantasy of being a hero, but Bel does not want to do that because he does not see the Xenos as the bad people, so he defies that, and in a sense becomes the villain himself to some of the people because of that. And so in a sense you could say that is his imperfection, so he isn't perfect. But the thing is about perfections and imperfections, it all depends on the perspective. An individual could see something as an imperfection as a perfection, and a perfection as an imperfection. It's like a walking contradiction, but it all depends on the perspective. It's like a piece of art. There's many different ways of interpreting it, and there's many different ways people can interpret this piece of literature in the sense of Bel trying to achieve his overall goals. So I can definitely understand why people see Bel as that too perfect hero, because he is idealistic in that he is trying to do things that in his own mind seem perfect, but in action is unrealistic. Now, that being said, he is going to make it happen because he is defying all the odds. That is why the gods are finding him so interesting, gods and goddesses, is because he is doing exactly against what they believe is the inevitable. Like Hermes is sitting there going, this is how things need to be done, and he's defying it because Bel is the hero of this story. And it's like a perfect fairy tale hero, which is why I can understand that people see fairy tale hero styles and they see those tropey, predictable, and get a little bit annoyed at them. But I like the way that DanMachi has gone about it, because there are many different characters that are quite flawed, Freya being one of them. She's done some many horrible things, but you do understand why she's done it, you just don't have to agree with it. So there's a difference between understanding and agreeing. And I think that's why I generally do enjoy the DanMachi story, because as much as many aspects of the story are predictable, it still has an interesting sort of roller coaster feel to it, and there are many interesting sort of snags to the story, like what is down in the dungeon, what is the core of the dungeon, like what is down there, like why is it a living, breathing thing? Is it bigger and grander than we think? What is that a true entail, and why is it specifically there? Why do monsters come out of it? Why does it have all the flaws? How vast does it go? And what is truly down there? And then also other things like the overall big quest itself that Bell and others are going to have to overcome. Bell is not going to be able to defeat this major quest on his own. He's going to need others. And I see that as kind of like, for those that have watched Marvel, it's kind of like that Avenger thing. Like all the big heroes of the story are going to come together. And the story has done that before, actually. DanMachi has done it in these side stories for Sword Princess. They have kind of done like an Avenger kind of thing where Bell comes in and helps Eyes and the team defeat a bigger, grander villain. And I like that style because it shows the gravity of it, that they can definitely defeat some things on their own and they can get to certain things, but when it comes to the big bad villains, they all need to come together and work as one. And I really do love that, and I do also think it brings their relationship closer together and allows them to build a bit of bonding, because at the end of the day, I know I harp on about this, Bell and Eyes are destined to be together, whether you like that or not. That, yeah. And at the end, also, we are going to get some sort of what-if stories as well. The author has said that that is coming. I believe it's coming with this season's DVD, so we'll get a bonus Japanese release, and that will probably be translated by the fans, and we'll be able to see that what-if story of a certain elf and a certain boy falling in love with each other as a what-if scenario. So I think that's great. We're getting some of those kind of side stories, because I think a lot of fans aren't going to get the ending that they desire, because Bell is going to choose someone that others do not want, and that is the choice of the author. I respect it, because the author has built that up from the very beginning, but the author has spent a lot of time building Eyes and Bell up in little incrementals, like little breadcrumbs, so it doesn't feel as noticeable over a period of time, because some people have forgotten it, while in the recent season there's been a lot of build up very heavily into particular characters, so a lot of people are very attached to that particular shipping, which is understandable. But at the end of the day, the author hasn't exactly been lazy in building up the romance between Eyes and Bell, and the side stories do also help as well, which is Sword Princess, which is why I've harped on for so long about wanting a season 2 for Sword Princess where it follows the light novels properly. But as far as Bell being a perfect hero, yes, I can definitely see that. I can see him being a perfect hero from a certain perspective, but that is an individual's opinion and perspective of how they see Bell, because I also think that, and this is something that even the anime and the light novels have pointed out, is Bell is very hypocritical, because he's trying to achieve things that just seem unrealistic in what his overall goals are. So it's what makes the story interesting, and I love seeing Bell develop these skills and abilities and defying all the odds. And that's another thing as well, is because he's the hero, he's got the Argonaut thing, he's got the accelerated growth, and he's also surrounded himself with very talented people that have great potential. And maybe that's why they've gained greater potential, because of being surrounded by, or being near Bell, or could be for other reasons. They're destined for great things, to show the gods and the goddesses a very interesting story that will play out. Sort of a destiny kind of written in the sands, playing out, but it's still some unknown variables that could still play out in the story. I've definitely seen some fan theories about Bell possibly dying at the end. That's a video for another discussion, or another video for that discussion itself, and I'll definitely talk about it. But I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think of that? Could Bell die at the end, and that would be his grand sort of exit, in a sense, dying a hero's death? I'll definitely give my opinion in a future video, but I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think about Bell being too perfect of a hero, or do you think he definitely has flaws? And if he has flaws, what are those flaws? And what do you think about the possibility of Bell dying at the end of the story? Again, if you like this video, hit the like, subscribe, and I'll see you beautiful nerds in the next video.